And back for another IB English Journal. Woo! We're still with the book Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Awesome book. Well, first part, in my opinion. Um, Today I have a few more little snippets that I have tagged off here for you. This first one is kind of to me was kind of sad. Um, One of Okonkwo's wives, Ifwiki, she had trouble bearing children, and she was pregnant several times, but only had one daughter. And this was with the naming ceremony, where she had to choose a name for her child. One of them was a pathetic cry, "Onwumbiku, death, I implore you." But death took no notice. Onwumbiku died on his 15th month. The next child was a girl, Ozonima. May it not happen again. She died in her 11th month. And the two others after her. Ifwiki became defiant and called her next child Onuwuma. Death may please himself. And he did. I found this very sad because, like, they didn't have, a lot of medicine, so they were saying that it was like a devil child and it was coming back to attack the mom and all this stuff and, like, haunt her. So, yeah. Um, but she did have a daughter. Her name is Inesma. She is one of Okonkwo's favorite children, even though he doesn't admit it. Okonkwo secretly wishes that she was a boy because she acts like a boy. She's strong, but yeah, she's a girl. He would love to give title to her and all that, but he can't because she's a girl. This next one is about Inesma. When she was born, she was very, very sick, and they sent for a doctor to help release her from the demon that was tormenting her and her mother. And they found a little stone and destroyed it. And ever since then, she's never been sick. And then she came down with a fever. And Okonkwo, Ifwiki came to Okonkwo's hut, and said, and was freaking out, saying that she's dying, because Inesma is her only child. And Okonkwo went out and he got medicine for it. He made medicine for her, and this is when he returned. Okonkwo returned when he felt the medicine had cooked long enough. He looked it over and said it was done. "Bring me a low stool for Inesma," he said, "and a thick mat." He took down the pot from the fire and placed it in front of the stool. Then he roused Inesma and placed her on the stool astride the steaming pot. The thick mat was thrown over both. Inesma struggled to escape the choking and overpowering steam, but she was held down. She started to cry. When the mat was last removed, she was drenched in perspiration. Ifwiki mopped her up with a piece of cloth. She laid her down on a dry mat and was soon asleep. In the book, Okonkwo is kind of like this tough guy. You don't mess with this guy. And I chose this part because it's kind of him showing his heart, which not a lot of guys can do. This next little passage I have, I found it very interesting because it deals with the culture. When they have spirits who are kind of their judges, and when a spirit talks to a person, they refer to that person as their name and body, because they do not talk to the spirit; they talk to the living person. And this little section was absolutely amazing. "Uzulu's body, I salute you," he said. "Spirits always address humans as bodies." Uzulu bent down and touched the earth with his right hand as a sign of submission. "Our father, my hand touched the ground," he said. "Uzulu's body, do you know me?" asked the spirit. "How can I know you, father? You are beyond our knowledge." Evil Force then turned to the other group and addressed the eldest of the three brothers. "The body of Odiku, I greet you," he said. And Odiku bent down and touched the earth. The hearing then began. So, like, that's just like a little ceremony that they do to start things off, like court and stuff. I found that very, very, very interesting. Then again, I'm also very weird. Weird. Um, this is a song that was sung like after the trial in the book, and it made me laugh because you would definitely hear men singing this song through the streets wherever you are. This was, yeah, I'll say the lyrics, I'm not singing this, but it's hilarious. "If I hold her hand, she says don't touch. If I hold her foot, she says don't touch. But when I hold her waist beads, she pretends not to know." I think guys would be dancing up and down the streets, singing that song whenever they got lucky. I swear they would, just because it suits the male personality so well. And I have one last one for you guys. I'm trying to find it. I seem to have lost it. Let's see. Oh, Oh, here it is. Oops, I was on the wrong page. This was sung at well, actually, it was a preach at a funeral. A man had died, and one of the spirits came to him and said this little prayer. "Izuru," he called in his guttural voice. "If you had been poor in your last life, I would have asked you to be rich when you came again. But you were rich. If you had been a coward, I would have asked you to bring courage. But you are a fearless warrior. If you had died young, I would have asked you to get life. But you lived long. So I shall ask you to come again the way you have come before. If your death was the death of nature, go in peace. But if a man caused it, do not allow him a moment's rest." He danced a few more steps and went away. Okay, to me, that's pretty cool. Like, it's them talking about reincarnation. Like, you die and what you had in your last life, you've already gone through that, so you know how to improve. So I like that. It was pretty sweet. So those are my journal entries for today, and I'm almost done part 1 of this book, and then I move on to part 2, part 3, which are going to be 2 more completely different journals. Oh, I haven't done part 1, so I'll give you a brief rundown. Part 1 was my favorite of the book. It talked about all the culture and the traditions. It was very, very, very good. I loved reading it. If you love culture and love tradition, I would recommend you read the first part of this book, because, again, it's awesome! Again, this is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Yes, the mask is upside down, I know that. But this is such an amazing book. The first part was just so intriguing, so amazing. I loved it. There's no other way to describe the first part. I just loved it. So, again, first part of this book, read it. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.